Now clear my name.
You should be careful. You're being set up, detectives.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 action sequel Bad Boys: Ride or Die. The film is directed by Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, who directed the last Bad Boys film, and it stars, of course, once again, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. We've got Vanessa Hudgens, Alexander Ludwig, Paul Nunez, Eric Dane, and Jacob Scipio. Right, okay, this time round, the Bad Boys, Mike Lowry, played by Will Smith, is getting married in this one right at the beginning. Martin Lawrence as Marcus has a heart attack, almost dies. It kind of gives him a whole new lease on life. And then the hammer blow drops, and they are informed that the captain, who died in the last film, Captain Howard, is being framed for being connected to the cartels, and a huge amount of money just turned up in his accounts. It's up to the Bad Boys to clear his name, which takes them on a collision course with some very, very dangerous people. And he also has to team up with his son, Will Smith, his son from the last film. Right. What are my thoughts on Bad Boys: Ride or Die? Well, the last Bad Boys film that came out was 2019, 2020. I really enjoyed. I'm a big fan of the Bad Boys films. The first two, directed by Michael Bay, were really excellent, and they're still very watchable today. And then after such a long break, to bring the Bad Boys back when they did, with fresh directors and things, it was a risk, but it absolutely worked. And for me, it was one of the most entertaining action films of that year. I absolutely believe that. And it was very clear that the chemistry was there, and it was given a fresh new coat of paint for a new generation of fans. And I have to say, they've built on that in this film. I thought this film was superb. And I mean, really enjoyable. The chemistry here is just unbelievable between these two guys, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. It's just, they're so watchable. It really does make this film really very enjoyable to watch. I'm not sure Martin Lawrence has been funnier than when he was in this film. I mean, he always cracks me up in these movies. I mean, they're both very funny in these movies, but Martin Lawrence is clearly the more comedic one here, and he absolutely steals pretty much every scene that he's in. He really does. He's absolutely magnificent, and very funny. And this whole new, he has like a heart attack, so he has like almost kills him. He gets a new lease of life. He thinks he can't die. He thinks he's close to God. He thinks him and Mike are like soulmates, not in that way or anything, and some of the stuff he comes out with are absolutely priceless and hilarious, and he is so funny, and some of the best scenes in the film definitely involve Martin Lawrence. And that's not to say that Will Smith isn't good in this film, because he is. Of course he is. They've actually given him quite an interesting arc in this film. His son from the last film, who was the fugitive and stuff. He starts off in jail in this film. So that they kind of work and build on that relationship a little bit in this film, which is good. But also, because he's got married now in this film, he's got something to lose, so he kind of suffers with like panic attacks in this film, which was a nice thing to give him. It's almost like the roles are reversed in this film. Marcus's character, he doesn't believe he can die, so he takes all kinds of stupid risks, and it's completely the other way around. Mike now has got something to lose, so he won't kind of put himself out there in harm's way as much as he used to. So it's really interesting, the dynamic they give these two guys in this film this time round. They reintroduced characters that we were introduced to in the last film, and they kind of, evolve those characters a little bit more, which I thought was really, really cool. And they give as well here, I think, some really credible villains. One in particular, Eric Dane's character. This whole setting up Captain Howard sort of thing, and this determination of these two guys to kind of clear his name, this father figure of theirs. And it's great as well to see, like, Joe Pantalonio kind of make a cameo in the film with, like, recordings that he made at the flashes up sort of thing. It's really cool to see him kind of return in the film. There's quite a few actually familiar faces that return here. There's the guy from the very first Bad Boys film. You remember the guy that was in jail, that really tall guy that kind of is a genius at hacking. He returns in this film. And that's an interesting scene. And do you know what else they do in this film? And I really love the fact that they give a lot of these characters their moments to shine. Reggie, who has been in every Bad Boys film, I think, since the second. He plays like the son-in-law of Martin Lawrence's character. And he's forever getting ribbed by these two guys, Mike and Marcus. Well, he's a US Marine. And he proves that in this film in one of the most badass scenes in the film. He gets his moment to shine, which was just brilliant. And both their reactions, both Mike and Marcus's reactions to him being badass, is very, very cool indeed. There's loads of, I'm going to say loads. There's some cameos here in the film that if you're eagle-eyed, you will spot, like internet stars and things like that. And like I say, there's some role reversals that you will recognise from scenes in previous films. And it just, I think, nails the feel of the film. Again, it feels fresh. It doesn't feel like a tired franchise. Normally, when you get to the fourth in a franchise, and films like this, they will start to definitely feel tired. I don't care which film it is, they all definitely feel tired. I think, in actual fact, The Break did this franchise good because the last film was excellent. I really enjoyed that. And this has built on what they built in the last film because it's the same directors. It feels like a fresh vision on these characters, a fresh perspective on these characters, and a fresh way of kind of making, taking these movies into, like, a more modern action audience while still keeping the feel and the theme of the Bad Boys movies. And there's some really very, very impressive like action sequences here in this film, and very innovative action sequences as well. Some camera work and some up close like camera work that they do with it. Almost feels like a first person shooter at times. The sequence on like a helicopter prison transport is just spectacular. The chases, the shootouts, they're all done in a really fabulous way, in a really high quality way. It feels polished, this film. It feels slick. It's entertaining. It's funny. There's nothing here that you're not going to enjoy. If you're a fan of the Bad Boys movies, you're going to walk out of the cinema, I think, with a smile on your face. This exceeded my expectations. I was aware it was being quite well received. I hope this knocks it out the park at the box office. I would be interested in seeing more Bad Boys movies as a result of this, because this was just massively entertaining. Easily one of my favourite films of the year so far, this. Just for pure entertainment value, I think you will absolutely love it. So thanks for joining me for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.